Hey everybody, and welcome to RetroActive's Corner, where we talk about news as well as just talk about the certain games, movies, and we are going to then use the scale to see what we come up with. Together, I am with Outcastcore's Jerome and SnowingGecko himself, Isaiah.
Hello.
So, how you guys doing today? How about you describe your channels and who you and
Old Otter Out There Games. Charity stream for a few dogs at Scraps.
Nice.
Trying to get some dogs adopted. So yeah, check that out.
And yes, hello. I am SnowingGecko. Isaiah. I go by, but I also can go back and play older games. Since I may be young, I'm turning 16 next month, but I did grow up playing older games because of my father.
I want to keep talking.
All right. Yeah. No. Well, it's pretty nice. Yeah. So currently today, I'm pretty sure into all of our categories: first-person shooter, and Medal of Honor is like old classic series, which we do not see much of that. Triumphed over. Yeah, it's pretty much right now only Call of Duty and Battlefield, really.
A little bit of popularity.
But Halo's definitely one. It's more like a sci-fi fantasy series. Yeah. We're talking like Grounded and Battlefield are the two that are left. But
Modern Warfare
adapted.
Yeah, the own story thing.
Because definitely this game, unfortunately, is a little dated.
True.
Yeah.
The
controls can be a little wonky.
Yeah.
True. Alright, so basically here's how the show is going to go. Design and gameplay. Of course, the gameplay is optional because we can switch that out when we're doing movies and turn it into atmosphere. Because trust me, a movie's atmosphere acts. So basically the story follows Commander Holt on his missions during World War II as he was serving with the OSS, which is the official secret service for the U.S. military before the CIA. During this time, they had served in many different operations from Europe to Russia, and there were a few, I know, agents that actually did serve in the Japanese War, the Pacific, so it made sense that way. But and this is actually going by the story of Commander Holt, who is a survivor of World War II, as well as a war veteran. He served from every front, from Stalingrad over in Russia all the way to today, which actually is really impressive if you ask me. It's actually downright shocking that he did as well as he did. But what do you guys think of the story overall?
Story was good. I do believe they faithfully, adapted several of the battles. I did do some research and looked at those were legit battles that Commander Holt did fight in. Those were real things that happened. I think they did a pretty good job retelling the story. A little bit more context I would have liked, maybe a little like note cards on the location and like what Nazis and the Allies were doing in said locations. But other than that, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't actually able to play too much of the story because I don't own the game personally and I don't have a console to play it on. But when I was over here, a few different times we played it. Mm-hmm. And from what I've played, it's a great story. It's just, I feel as if it would have done better if you said they went in a little more depth of maybe a side story on Commander Holt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they would have done a lot better if they went more side story, gave him a little bit more backstory, made you actually like the character.
Though I wish for a little bit more detail as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, it was a really intriguing story of this. Who else can say they've been in all fronts of the war, or almost all of them?
That's true.
That is true.
That is absolutely insane. Our world from being enslaved by the Nazis at the time.
Yeah, that's I mean,
he has more balls than I do.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I would have loved to meet him. I don't know if he's still alive or not. If you are, dude, then I would love to meet you in person. If not, then rest in peace, my friend. You truly have served this country well, and you've protected with your damn life, and you were a badass doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with you on this one. I think they could have. I wish they could have gone a little bit more in detail on why they were there. All I know is that a lot of the missions were based off the V2 projects. If you guys remember from history, there was the V2 rockets that were designed with nuclear armaments on hand to basically nuke every nation's capital.
Yeah.
Yep, that and the experimental tanks, which were pretty much tanks the size of houses.
Oh, yeah.
Those are something.
The rockets were huge when I did research on them. They're insane.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. Nazis, they tried some crazy things.
Oh, yeah.
They tried some crazy things. That's why we had Project Paperclip, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Try to bring them over on our side, but yeah.
Honestly, for what it's worth, for as much as the Nazis were evil, I have to admit they were geniuses in their front-end technology.
Yeah.
They built rockets that we actually would use for a lot of our NASA projects. We also had a lot of interesting weapons. Tank gun into an actual tank.
Yeah.
That is repurposing like hell.
That is, yeah.
And I actually mean that for story.
Story for accuracy, I definitely would have to say it is above average. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because one, the story is something that actually happened. They were trying to, recreate the battles. So I would give it a solid 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to go in depth, and also I'd like to know who are all those allies you got paired up with, because they had legit.
It's the same. They must have been actual soldiers who fought in the war. So
yeah,
it would be nice to give more detail on that. What about you?
Off because giving, like you said, more story to like the soldiers that you could have found, just being able to go through and find like intel on the ground or hidden around the missions, or say how you can get the gold, like the gold version of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
If you got that, you got like a little sheet of paper that you could read up on intel, like a diary or letters home, something like that, just to get you a little more enticed into the story.
Mm-hmm. I actually am going to give it more of a 7 out of 10, but here's my reason why. I like that they actually got Commander Holt to tell his side of the story. Because what are the odds you're ever going to have a game with an actual war veteran telling you his events? That's got to give at least some bonus points on that, for authenticity's sake. I also like how they got a voice actor that was, according to him, sounded very similar to he was when he was younger. So I thought that was pretty cool that they got someone to sound very close to his age at that point.
Yeah, they definitely tried. There's definitely some love put into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could definitely tell that these guys really wanted to make this game as authentic as possible, which is why there's no regenerating health like in Call of Duty and all that stuff. So I have to admit, well done for them for at least trying to make it authentic. But yeah, I'm willing to go around 6 or 7. That's as most as I'm ever going to go with the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But still, pretty good though. Now we're going to talk about characters. This includes characters in the story, as well as, of course, characters in the multiplayer mode. We're going to be including that because, well, honestly, we have to at this rate. So
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So in the characters, of course, in the campaign, the main character of all is Commander Holt.
Yeah.
Who, honestly, is the main character story. He is the one who tells you what happened during the war. And then, of course, there are the character classes that go from American, Russian, British, French, and then, of course, we have the Axis powers, which mainly has different character skins and all sorts of stuff like that. So, in your guys' personal opinion, let's start off with the story, main character, and then we'll go on to the classes. So, what do you guys think of Commander Holt?
You want to go first?
Tough as nails. He was a true, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He can put a lot of people to shame.
Oh, yeah.
My opinion on him, he seems like a total badass. I feel like in a fight against John Wick, he'd actually stand slight of a chance.
Honestly, yeah. And he's a real-life person.
The only problem, though, is I feel like, not problem, but I feel like he's got to be hiding some sort of PTSD.
Oh, yeah, no, you could hear in his voice when he was talking about, the flashbacks. This was, several takes as he remembered all the crap he went through.
Yeah. He's got to be hiding PTSD, because no man can go through that many wars.
That many battles, just absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like that's another way. As I said before, they could have expanded on the character plot. That would have made me
definitely
like it a lot more.
made more of a connection. There was not many connections in this
True.
game.
I have to admit, though, for what it's worth, I do think Commander Holt is a badass, yes. But I also think that, in a way, him, with his PTSD and how he speaks of the events, makes him more authentic. No soldier is ever going to go through what he went through unscathed. there are very few instances of that actually happening. I've talked to World War II veterans before. A lot of them still remember a lot of the trauma. Like, there's this one person I met in Ohio who was a flamethrower unit in World War II. And he still remembers the bodies being burned in front of him, all the screaming of that. And I don't even want to imagine what he went through, guys. The dude has more cojones than I do. I would be already in a mental hospital with worse PTSD than that dude. He's much stronger willed than I was. But besides the point, though, for what it's worth, I do think he's a very good character overall. And not to mention, he's an authentic hero. No other video game can ever say that.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. He is a real person. Other characters.
Unfortunately, no.
Other than the classes and some of the villains.
So what do you guys think of the classes themselves?
The classes themselves, they're pretty straightforward. You get French, you get American,
Russian, British for the Allies.
For the Allies, we get pretty much basic.
Riflemen, infantry.
I
feel like that was really cool. I know it was ahead of their time, but I wish they could have gone with a
time. It was still brand new. We would have World War II games later on that would do it, like the Call of Duty series.
Yeah, Call of Duty, literally World War II.
Or World at War.
The
original trilogy. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done really good if they gave a little more custom to the classes, or even just, like I said, slight intel or just stuff that you could find along the Easter eggs.
True.
Easter eggs. So they're just small Easter eggs they could have put in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's where they kind of fell behind and kind of became irrelevant. Nothing really new. Like, that's what they did with zombies. And, you see in zombies nowadays for Call of Duty, there's story throughout everything, and the mechanics are good. And that's what's making that be, the carry on the back for Call of Duty right now. Mm-hmm.
But again, this is the original Xbox for crying out loud. Even the PlayStation and GameCube versions were similar when it comes to character classes.
Oh, no, right? This is after Rising Sun.
Yeah.
So this is 360. This is when...
No, this is the original Xbox.
Oh, this is the original Xbox?
Yeah, the front line except for Dreamcast.
Yeah, because I was thinking... Yeah, this came out in early 2000s, didn't it?
Yeah, very early 2000s.
No, this... Was it?
Yeah, 2004. It was a year before the Xbox 360 came out.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I remember... Because Modern Warfare came out on the 360 right as that one came out.
No, it didn't.
Oh, yeah, I have to... Because I keep on forgetting. It's so weird to think that all of the Call of Duties have been from 2005 and above with continuing pop, but it's starting to take over again, which is... I like it, but at the same time, it's becoming kind of dry.
True. But what do you guys think of the... and should we talk about the skins for the Axis?
Oh my god. So, I have to do this one. It's amazing.
Yeah, alright, we gotta let him talk about it because good...
Axis, there is, of course, it was mainly Nazis in this point of the war. So, there was only German soldiers. So, there was, Kingsmen, infantry...
Yeah, Kriegsmen.
Basic stuff like that. But then, they couldn't have made a class where it's just represented by a woman. They literally just made a full class. It goes Kingsman, infantry, colonel or something like that. Officer, and then just female.
Why is it?
It's literally just female. There's nothing to it other than female.
I really don't know what was going through their minds.
I don't know.
We're just lucky for them for just making one female.
There'd be hell to pay, I'm willing to say that.
Yeah.
There would be so much crap. I mean, I have expected a secretary. Because, I mean, you're invading a base, the officers would have secretaries, and they wouldn't just, hide behind their desks. They would grab a gun. I don't know. Maybe. Do you think that would be better than just female?
Yeah. Russia, America, Germany,
or a resistance fighter.
in France, in Britain.
No, they did not. They did not go down quietly. The Russians, no, hell no. They grabbed whatever and they started fighting.
Yeah, actually, there were a couple of female snipers. One of them had over 1,500 kills before she officially died in the end of World War II. It is nuts how good she was. All she needed was 10 bullets, take 10 targets down.
Yeah, no, that...
she was efficient.
Yeah, no,
So I'm just kind of surprised they didn't do something like that, like make Sniper and have the female character actually be right there with Sniper as her title.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, if you think about it, mid-2000s is right when women's movement was starting to become popular.
Same goes with the LGBTQ.
2010 kind of era when that started kicking up. So, I mean, I can see why they at least added a class that is a female.
True.
But at the same time, name it something other than just female.
right. Yeah, no, or like...
Name it like a spy, because spy...
Oh, spy!
Because back then, females were mainly stay-at-home wives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, there was not many office, nor the Hornet as pilots.
Yeah.
And there are more German pilots than most of the forces that were out there, except for, I think, the...
They definitely stepped it up when it came to the airman battles.
True. Alright, so with all that said, all that we've just talked about, what would you give characters from a score of 1 to 10? Because we already know that you guys have... Hold on, I'm actually going to have a pen right here and use this. Alright, so you already said that you guys gave a 6, right?
Yeah, we both gave a 6.
For the story, but
Alright, so 6.
because...
They did not give enough story.
Personally, for this game, I'm going to have to give...
Yeah, they didn't give any spark of their own creativity in the characters. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with like 4.
Alright, so you're going to give it a 4?
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, for
A
me...
little higher because...
I think for me, I'm going to give it a 5 or a 6 because... Mainly because it's an authentic hero from a war. You don't normally get that in video games, and trust me on this. Normally we get super soldiers like Master Chief or characters like Mario. Yeah.
Soap or Prey.
I
like story.
Yeah, and was an actual authentic true. Because they actually got some.
So
okay, the gaming industry.
Yeah.
I am willing to...
A slight hint of...
Just...
Didn't steal it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying...
was definitely a big thing.
Actually,
definitely...
Especially since Indiana Jones is set in the same time period.
I noticed is that the sound in this game entirely was damn good. And like you could hear the machinery sound, and this track changed less from an epic adventure to like you like a spy going through the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will have to say, whoever was going with the music and audio design of this game sounded, Star Wars-y. Throughout the game. When you were going through like the pausing or like your allies were just resting, and the soundtrack was not there. It was there, but when you could hear the, I will have to say what they were stepping on, what was exploding, what were the noise and everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. So, in all honesty, this might be my...
honestly...
It's true, they really did, because if you literally just deal with epic for Holt's story and everything, they really did set that tone with the music, which is what the music is there for. It's set the tone and kind of... It does, and I can't...
Nice. Yeah. Something I actually did with was in awe. It's... If you're the bombastic drums, the trumpets, and everything, just shoot something. Missions, it's very subtle. It's calm, focused at the task at hand. Yeah. And then we have those inspiring tracks that literally lift your spirits when you feel like you can, when you think all... Yeah. So... And this is rare for me to do. I normally don't give a 10 out of 10 score lightly, especially since you would have to improve, for example. That one I'm willing to give almost... It's definitely with music.
2004 is pretty good.
I can say, though... Oh, wait, no, that...
Go with graphics.
I really wish that, because you can see... I mean, F2 version. Don't even get me started on that.
Oh,
This game, unfortunately, was clearly designed for much better hardware. Definitely X-ray to even look at the GameCube.
Dark.
In the middle of
time, but it was... And it was winter when there's no light reflecting off...
Literally pitch black.
Yeah.
Also check the maps of the gameplay in the multiplayer.
Each map felt unique.
Mm-hmm.
I did not feel like kind of a mirror of the other side.
Yeah.
Definitely each of these maps were unique.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd say when it came to map design, they did a pretty good job. Though graphics with the characters, a little jaggy looking. and like anytime there's a cutscene, well, their faces just look like robots.
Yeah.
True. Actually, I just played through Frontline, Rising Sun, and European Assault, all three of them.
The newest one out of all three, too.
Yes, it was.
I mean, that does really show that they were progressing in graphics.
Yeah.
They progressed a lot. If you think about it, from 1990 to
1999 to 2004.
Oh, 91 to all the way through like 2010. The amount of graphics that changed, and like it immense, like just improvement.
True.
In overall gaming industry, which is insane to think. It's not that big of a difference compared to the graphics changed from then to now, or from then.
True.
Yeah.
So, honest, and this is from you guys want my personal opinion. Even though I do love how they created the game and how it looks, I also think it did not age well.
But they truly did not make this a longevity thing.
Yeah.
Like my score is a solid 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
For the time, it was good. For the time, it was good.
But it did not age well.
It did not age well. They truly did not try to make this, look like it's something that you would want to come back to in the future. And not to mention, the graphics are not equal on all consoles.
True.
Here, I'd say I'm a rated.
Yeah.
I gotta see the backhand of like really the cover up
Yeah.
that they really went for.
Yeah.
And yeah, for
It looks better than the PlayStation version.
Really?
Yeah, it's brighter, and not to mention it actually runs a little bit smoother. So, but yeah, they gave a lot more, however, I can definitely tell they gave a lot more love to the Xbox version in all things.
Yeah.
I can definitely tell they definitely favored one console over the others. So, I actually am willing to give it more of a 5. I'm going to go right between guys, and then we're going to continue the show in just a moment. Hey everyone, we are now back. And we're going to be talking about the last segment in this one, which is going to be gameplay. Now, this is where in our three opinions, this is where it really counts right here for all of us. For everything that it is.
Yep.
And honestly, for what it's worth, okay, what's going on?
I need to show you. So he sent me this.
What did he send?
Why don't you answer?
Oh my God.
For zombies.
Okay, really? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna beat your brother soon.
Okay.
But yeah, what would you guys think of the game?
The main thing that stood out to me, and what I found to be rather incredible as someone who knows programming, early gameplay bits, because I did not let any of my allies die. I did not really realize this yet, but set number of enemies. I missions done, and because of that, the number of NPCs on the ground,
Yeah.
were there.
And then it overloaded your console.
Yeah, no, and I was really surprised about that everything was, there.
Because usually in games they'll load one portion, like just but
in this game,
probably a little smoother if they would have done like little chunks of it and loaded in more at a time. But I can also see why they did what they did, because the chunk thing is.
So they player ran. So I thought that was pretty good. But other games,
Yeah.
Same time.
That's really all games too.
I know, but like, oh god.
Unless you're playing Bioshock Infinite.
Yep, front of you.
That's
Hell away.
Or the
Hey, if there's enemies in front of me, but if you're pointing a gun, fucking kidding me. Like, not to a ridiculous point to where I'm like, I just can't save you. I just can't save you.
Yeah.
True enough on that. Yeah.
What was it? Second mission that we played?
Yeah, it was the second mission. I actually watched it play, and wasn't it like a couple of your guys ran into your Thompson machine gun fire?
No, it wasn't the Thompson. It was the MP4. They walk in front of you. You're literally shooting.
So, I mean, that's also another. I realized you won't get that extra if you're zoomed in.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you're zoomed in, everything's free game.
That's funny.
So I'm like, oh fuck, because I'm a first-person shooter guy. I like to be zoomed in. I like that a lot. And so this game kind of threw me off when I'm zoomed in.
That's one thing that I will say. That's all of the Medal of Honors, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It
actually,
completely ruins strafing around corners.
actually, there's a good example of actually moving while leaning, and it's in Rainbow Six Siege. I don't think anyone even thought it was even possible back then.
Yeah,
To program
that's
into
true.
a game, especially that early or say moving.
Yeah, they did zoom and moving. That's what I was talking about. They did that, but what I will say that they did fail on was being able to crouch while moving.
No, you can move and crouch.
You could move and crouch, yeah.
I don't know what it was for me then. It never even let me.
Is it toggle or hold?
I think it was hold.
Oh, crud, yeah, because sometimes you
that was the
lift
basic-
up on the stick and then you're automatically moving forward like that.
Some settings in this game was that the sensitivity.
Yeah, you're better off just...
So in one thing other in this game, exactly the same as enemies being all more or less square.
That they are a lot different. Every gun is different.
Mm-hmm.
Different guns too, but they're same class. Snipers though is I wish that they would have gone.
It's because that the mechanics of the class.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a lot. Like you've slightly mastered it and gotten pretty good with it. You're able to
Like the real just do constant.
But one thing that I also did know with the
Yeah.
crosshair of the helmet,
Yeah, I don't think it was in multiplayer. But another thing that I will say though is shot them or else they would regen health too fast.
on this reload
The whole map at once with grenades.
which grenade the first person shooter controls have these standards with
Yeah.
like the left one being switch weapons.
Yeah, actually...
Only thing that's different.
A is to reload, which is usually like B
That-
for being used the A to stick
It
to.
was really good at 10. So,
Oh, wow,
yeah.
so-
I'm good, but for its I mean,
For how it aged.
it did not age well. It did not age well.
No.
Definitely, as someone who knows coding and programming myself,
Mm-hmm.
I can see several different issues, especially with the clipping of some NPCs. How I actually lost two of my guys in the campaign because like shooting us, but like he was like
Oh.
like I saw that and I was like trying to jump while under a desk.
Ah.
I found a corner that I literally just walked behind into, and I started flying straight up, walking up the invisible wall.
Yeah,
Dear
no,
gosh.
so that a long time for a bunch of a mission.
Different endings.
That all of them connected to the...
Happy
Happy birthday.
Actually,
Thank
yep.
you.
Actually, there is a birthday shout out. That'd be awesome. Opinion though.
Give me a half a second. I'm doing a quality check on you guys.
Ah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of Medal of Honor European Assault in your own personal opinion?
Well, I like the game. I think the game in itself, the premise of the game is good, you know.
Yeah.
So to me, so I definitely like that. Gameplay, actually, watch you guys play it and stuff like that, seems pretty good, you know, and stuff. The only thing I have a problem with anything that deals with
We had online.
It was Xbox 360, right?
Nope, it was the original Xbox.
Okay. Yeah, no, so like some of these games did have server like connectability, but one thing that I did have was the ability to connect to a different console.
Yeah, and that one definitely did have that. It
Yeah,
had
so
system
you
link.
could like have big like 8-player, matches.
Local, where it's all your friends.
Yeah. So those were possible, and I could imagine that being a good thing. And since we are
Because there's a lot to go over when it comes to gameplay.
got the controls down, pretty just a tunnel. I do know to think of different ways I can get from point A to point B,
Yeah.
achieving the objectives. And I liked how the side quests did, and they were no more tougher challenges. Again, the second turn reinforcements came I felt like they took a lot quickly, and the planes, the secondary objectives, the Nemesis system.
Oh yeah.
Like, holy, the company that made
Yeah.
them back in 2004. All that being said,
Honestly, but once you got the controls down, it was very fun. We actually